So excited that you're here. My name's Renee Schulte, and we are going to be talking about my favorite topic, the Full Focus Planner. It is that time of year, everyone. We should be making goals for 2023. And so we're going to be talking about how to do that in a way that is productive, because Michael Hyatt will tell you that a goal well conceived and put together well is a goal half achieved. And sometimes we do wrong because we do not have the best things in mind for what we can do for goals. We don't really put time and effort into thinking about them the way we should. And because of that, things do not go well for us. We're too vague. We're too fluffy. We don't think about measuring. We don't think about dates. We just throw something out there and then we wonder why we quit by beginning of February, right? How many people? Well, if you're here with us today, we're going to be talking about goals and goal setting. And if you're in this group, you care about good policy. So you're joining us because you care about things that matter to you and you want to improve the world by using policies and rules and things in life to make things better. And so I want to say thank you. I also want to say thanks to Holly and to Nancy, who always catch the replay, even if they can't be here live. And today, come on back to the backside with us in the Q&A. If you got our invitation, you know there was a Zoom link. It's not scary, but we do Q&A at the end, and we're going to talk about setting goals. And so come on back and chat with us. We'd love to see that you are here. If you're here with us today, type goals in the chat. You can either be live or you could be with us here in the back. Let us know that you're around. Say goals. We'll know that you were here. Thanks for stopping by. Also, finally, if you've got friends, people that you know that care about healthy policies and that you know care about goal setting for next year, invite them to our group. We're going to continue to do some fun topics over the next few days about different things, about things that are going to matter to you. And we're going to talk about if one of your goals are going to be about meeting new people and networking to get stuff done. That's what we're going to be talking about next week. So we'd love to have you here. So invite people in. I want to thank Jason for always inviting in new friends. Thank you so much for being with us today. So today we're going to be talking, this is part 3 of the Full Focus Planner conversation that we've had. And today we're going to talk specifically about how this can help you move from wherever you are now to where you want to be. This tool right here, my friends, moved me from being that burned out workaholic to being a balanced entrepreneur. And it was all about the full focus system. And so today we're going to talk about how to use goals in a way that help you move from where maybe you don't want to be to where you're going. And that was what they call smarter goals. And we're going to go into great detail today about what does smarter mean. Now, you may have heard people out there talking about making SMART goals, but this one's going to have some tweaks in it that are really important. So raise your hand to get us started. If you've set New Year's resolutions in the past that never really went anywhere. Anyone? Well, a poll out in 2020 said that about the average person, 32 days is all it takes for people to totally forget they made a resolution or a goal or a plan or anything else on January 1st. 32 days. That means you're running right into what? February 3rd-ish. And so 3rd or 4th. That's terrible, right? We get lost. We get frustrated. We forget. Shoot, we don't even remember what we said we were going to do half the time. So instead of talking about New Year's resolutions this year, what if you came up with a plan to have goals that were written in a framework that actually helped you achieve them? And that's what the smarter framework is. If you've been following along with us, we've been talking about Full Focus Planner. We've been talking about fullfocus.co. You can learn more all about the planner, but the system itself is all about how do you make goals of an annual nature. You have 2 or 3 per quarter, and then you work building weekly things toward those goals, daily things toward those goals, so you can actually measure your achievement. So you can start seeing actual progress being made by being part of that. And that's what we're going to talk about today is once you understand this smarter framework and you can get in your mind how to set goals this way, it becomes really easy to track if you've made it or you haven't. It becomes easy to tweak and see maybe why something that you've put on there as a goal maybe really isn't a goal in the first place. So let's start out with what is a goal. A goal, when we talk about goals, is something that should be new to you. It should be kind of outside your comfort zone, not something you do day in and day out, not something that you've been told you have to do. It's not a project. So First of all, if it's going to be a goal for you, it needs to be something new and exciting. And we're going to talk about how to think through this SMARTER framework. And SMARTER, it spells out SMARTER, and there's going to be a word for each of those. And we're going to show you examples throughout today so that you can start thinking about, how do I write a goal that is smarter and not a goal that maybe I'm not excited about and I'm not going to get done. Well, first off is specific. The S stands for specific. You're going to write a goal that is specific. A goal that is not specific is, I want to lose weight next year. Why is that not specific? For 1,000 reasons, right? You didn't say how much you want to lose. You didn't say when you're going to start. You didn't say when you're going to stop. You didn't say how you were going to do it or how anything. It's just this general vague statement like, I have a dream. That's awesome. That's also not a goal. And so how do you decide something specific? A better idea would be, hey, I want to lose 10 pounds in 6 months. Or something like that, something so that you can think about it tangibly, what you're trying to do, right? And so the next piece of this is measurable. How are you going to measure this? So back to that weight loss goal idea, how do we measure that? Are you going to like weigh in on a certain day and time where that you're going to consistently weigh in at 6 a.m. on Monday, and you're going to do that for 12 weeks? And you're going to, within those 12 weeks, lose those 10 pounds or whatever, right? So you need to think about measurable. You know that every scale you stand on is different. I'm not saying that getting on a scale is the best way to do weight loss at all, but I'm saying if that's what you do, you can't choose a scale and be a different scale, one at the doctor, one at the gym, one at the house, and count and expect any of that to add up. It just won't. So you've got to figure out measurable in a way that's consistent. And then how are you going to do it accurately and consistently? So if you're going to have a weight loss goal, you need to have, how are you going to measure that? Are you going to measure that in ounces? Are you going to measure it in pounds? What are you going to measure it in? And how are you going to do that? The first A, well, the only A, is actionable. So is losing weight an actionable goal? Well, it's not really for me. I don't really have a choice. My body doesn't just lose weight when I tell it to. Maybe some other people's do, but it doesn't. So for me, I'd have to have an action. So think about an action verb you'd put at the beginning. So you're going to work out 5 days a week to lose 10 pounds by June 30th. Now there's some action in there. You know, you're going to work out 5 times, but even more specific, if you're going to do more specific, you're going to work out 5 times a week, Monday through Friday at 7 a.m. to lose 10 pounds by June 30th. You see how that can work? But you got to think about the action you can take. You're not just going to think about this in your head. You're like, what action can I take? So you could do something doable, like I'm going to replace French fries with vegetables every time I eat out from January to June of 2023. Something like that, right? So moving toward the goal, something that's an action step. So your goal should start with something actionable, nothing being. You're not going to be this or are that or am this, none of those being verbs, action verbs. And if you're not sure what I mean, just Google it. Action verbs is anything that you're going to do in action. And that's how you should start your goal all the time. You're going to do something actionable. Now there's 2 R's in this one. The first R is risky. And they say risky because it needs to be something you haven't done before. If it's something that you're doing because you should do it, you don't even care, you're not going to get into this and you're not going to do it. So something risky. So, can you lose 5 pounds in 6 months without even thinking about it? If you're one of those cool people, maybe you can do it in 2 weeks. If that's you, you don't want a 5-pound goal. Maybe you need a 30-pound goal or a 50-pound goal. Or if you're somebody that can, say you have a different kind of goal, that you're going to be setting growth in your business, and you can easily achieve 10% goal growth. Well, growth 10% is kind of boring. It's not risky. So how much more do you need to add so that you start feeling a little bit uncomfortable? Now, Michael Hyatt talks about the delusional zone. Everybody knows what the delusional zone is. That means you've set some goal so risky that it's delusional and you'll never, ever hit it. People quit those too. So there's in between, not too comfortable that it's boring, but not too risky that it's completely insane or delusional, or that you're just going to quit and not even try. In the middle. That's what risky is. So you can win prizes maybe based on your progress. There are some apps out there in that weight loss world that you can bet on losing weight, and you win money if you lose it. If you have to pay, they keep your money if you don't lose it. And so you have a little bit of risk involved. Could be fun if you're a person that likes to bet. The T stands for time keyed. Time keyed is going back to what we talked about earlier about when are you going to do this? It's deadlines. So are you going to be specific weighing at certain times in the morning? Are you going to be going to the gym at a certain time of day? Are you going to go to the gym on certain days of the week? Are you going to, how much time are you going to give yourself to lose the weight? My brother just lost a bunch of weight, and his goal was to have it done before Thanksgiving. And he started at a certain time with a goal to lose X amount of weight by Thanksgiving. So you need to have, when are you going to start and stop? So a great goal could say, starting January 1, I'm going to do blah, 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 this by June 30th or by December 31st or whatever it is. If it's a habit goal and you're trying to set up a habit, you're going to need to do at least 6 weeks, sometimes longer than that, to create a habit. And that would be every day you do it, so that you do it consistently, so it becomes part of your routine. And once it becomes routine, it falls off your goals. But you need at least about 6 weeks to be able to get something consistently in your daily plan. So what is that going to look like? You write that down. So you can work it and you can use the time to your advantage. But by saying you're going to work out at 6:30 a.m., then there's no doubt you are or you're not. You don't be like, I'm going to work out sometime tomorrow. I don't know about you, but if I don't get a workout in, I don't actually work out, right? So what are you going to do? What time of day? Tell people. The E is exciting. And exciting, you might think, well, how in the world am I going to make it exciting? A couple of different ways. The goal itself could be exciting, or what you achieve because you did it could be exciting. But you've got to motivate yourself to want to change. Our bodies go toward comfort. We go toward what the easiest. So what is it that's exciting to you? So if you go back to weight loss, 10 pounds might not be exciting. 20 pounds, you might get more excited. And maybe if you have a reunion coming up, or you're going on a cruise, or you're doing something, that's the reward in itself. And you being able to fit into this certain dress or outfit to do that might be exciting to you. So you can have a weight loss goal, but it needs to be something exciting. If it's something like that you think you should do it because the doctor told you should do it, if you can't figure out like why you want to do it, just drop it. It's not a goal for you. Now, it doesn't matter if you should do it all day long, but if you can't see the internal reasons why you want to do it, you're going to get through your quarter and not have done that one, because it wasn't really about you. It wasn't really about what you cared about. It was really about whoever told you to do it, right? So thinking about that from an exciting standpoint. Now, not everything you have to do in a goal world is super exciting, but maybe if you're working in an office, you could put a bonus at the end. If we all do this and get our policies and procedures in order, or our standard operating procedures in order, we get them done, everybody gets $500. That might be exciting to people, right? So thinking about how do you turn it into something that people would want to work toward? That's what we're talking about here. Now, finally, the second R, this one that we call relevant. So it has to be relevant. Different seasons, there's right times to pursue goals than other times to pursue goals. Now, for example, if you want to go off and get a master's degree, but your wife is pregnant and having a baby this week, might not be a good idea for those two things to be happening simultaneously. So you have to think about what's relevant. And just because in certain seasons it was relevant for you to grow your business nonstop, but maybe right now you're caring for your aging parents. So maybe those two things aren't compatible in this season. That doesn't mean that the goal is bad. It doesn't mean that the goal isn't something that you might want to do in the future. What it means is it might not be relevant for today, and that's okay. And while we're talking about relevance, let me let you know that just because you put something down on a planner doesn't mean it has to stay there. Use a pencil if you have to. But if you get 30 days into your next quarter and you're like, this one's just not working, it's too big, I didn't time it right, I can't get it all done, you can cross it out. There's no rules. This is your goal plan. So you can make a plan and then cross it out if it isn't going to work for you. So that's what's about being relevant, right? There are some seasons, like for example, I right now would not do an outside workout plan for myself. Do you know why? I live in the Midwest. I'm in my big fuzzy jacket today because it's 9 degrees outside. We're going to have a blizzard this week, people, a blizzard. So an outside workout plan where I'm going to work out twice a day outside, or 75 hard where one out would always have to be outside right now, is really dumb. You're going to get hurt. And if you live in North Dakota, you've been in a blizzard for the past week. Outside is not a good idea. So not relevant. In spring, it's beautiful here. Would I have an outside workout goal to get a lot of miles on my bike outside? Yes, in the spring, in the summer. but no, not when it's this temperature in the winter. You see what I'm saying? So relevant is important because it depends on the season that you're working in. So if you're a part of the Smarter framework, it helps you set up goals. So let's set up a goal for like your marriage. If you wanted a goal in the area of marriage, you could say starting on January 1st, we're going to have a date night at 7 p.m. for dinner or dance lessons or whatever, every other week for 24 weeks through June 30th. So you could make something like that where you have a plan or a goal that you're going to do date night every other week, right? You could do something like that. Or you could do an achievement goal, like I'm going to create a new course for my business, recording all the segments and finalizing the workbook by March 31st. So you could put very specific in there. I'm going to do the course and I'm going to record this. I'm going to do the workbook, whatever it is, by this date. So you've time keyed it. If you've never written a course before, that's exciting. It could be fun. It could be new revenue. There's a lot of different pieces that it would apply for. Or maybe you need an avocational goal that's like a hobby. So you're going to try a new hobby that you're going to do with your friends and families 2 times a month, starting in January through March. Maybe you're a person that doesn't really have a lot of fun things to do on the side. So you need to try new things to decide, well, maybe what else am I going to do? And once you've tried so many for 90 days, 180 days, then you can implement, I'm going to do my new hobby 3 times a month for the next however many months, right? So the goals can change and work into one another. So if you would like some feedback on your goals, you can type goal feedback in the chat. And what we'll do is make sure you get the link that you can schedule time with me and we'll walk through it. So if you're not sure about how to use the Smarter framework and you're like, I don't know if this one's specific enough or if I can really measure it the way I want to, or if I've made it actionable, maybe you're not sure if it's risky enough or if you have the right time key, or maybe you're not sure if it's exciting or if it's relevant. You can spend some time. Let's just hop on a quick call. Wouldn't take you very long. And I can help you see that clearly. I have done this progress now. I'm on my 5th or so year since the beginning of the time of this planner that I have worked on these. And so for me, it gets a lot more simple because I've done it for so long. But if you're just starting out and you want some help, put goal feedback in the chat. If you're watching the replay, put it there. We will make sure to reach out to you so that we can schedule a little bit of time. And so you'll have the perfect set of goals for you coming up for January of 2023. So if by chance one of your goals that you're going to be setting for next year is to network and meet new people, next week's call, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about how could you set up a networking goal so that you can have the ability to talk about this. And what do you do? If you want to meet new people, what could a goal look like, right? That seems kind of fluffy. Meet new people. That's a terrible goal. So we're going to talk about it next week from a goal perspective of what could you do to be good at networking in a way that matches you. Not everybody's an extrovert that just wants to go to parties. Oh, heck no. Hate it. But I'm pretty good at networking. But I do it different than people because I come from an introverted perspective and I do it much more specifically because me and big parties is bleh. I don't like to just chit chat about nothing. So anyway, today, if you want some feedback on your goals, put goal feedback in the chat. We'll connect and we'll talk about it. Next week, come back. We're going to be talking about networking and how a goal of networking could tie into next year for business for you. We're going to be sharing a couple new resources with you again this week. Thank you so much for being here. We hope to see you again real soon. Goodbye, everybody. Talk to you later.